Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP is the host of Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, the man himself, Mike Tipton. Mike, thanks for joining me today, man.
No problems, brother. Thank you so much, Ray, for having me on. I appreciate the invite. Can't wait to get this conversation started.
Yeah, no, man. Dude, like you're like a guru, especially when it comes to sports and stuff like that. Like, watching your show, watching you stream daily from 8 to 9 on all your platforms. Dude, you get the conversation going. You're so knowledgeable, man. How'd you get into all that?
So I've always loved sports and I always loved radio, especially as a kid. Like I'm the kid that used to put like the tape on the bottom of the cassettes, press play and record myself, pretending to be a DJ, doing stuff like that. And for me, sports was always like an outlet, right? Like it was the place where I felt like I had a home away from home. And basketball was normally that sport for me. But as I got older, I kind of fell out of it, went to the military, did my thing, all of that stuff. I was living in Alaska at the time.
Oh wow.
And my mother passed away, and I didn't get the chance to say goodbye to my mom whenever she passed away, but she always had the dream of me being on radio.
Mhm.
So my way of kind of like, okay, well, let's honor her a little bit was let's find out how we can do some radio stuff. I contacted as many people as I possibly could here in El Paso. I didn't get an email back, and I don't blame them, right? Like you get hundreds of emails all the time from people probably asking you for free stuff all the time. Trust me, as a radio person, I know how it goes. But I was living in Alaska. And at the time, like the ESPN night shows would be on like afternoon in Alaska because it's like 4 or 5 hours, time difference from the East Coast. And we were driving home, and my wife told me, "Why don't you message the guy who's on air right now?" And like, there's no way he's gonna like message me back, right? Like he's at ESPN doing his thing. He's not gonna pay attention to this guy. I send him a message on Twitter, and sure enough, like 10 minutes later, he gives me a rundown. His name is Freddie Coleman. He gives me a rundown of all the things that I need to do, what I need to enroll in, how I need to start
Very
doing stuff.
cool.
And he's like, I'm your mentor from now on. Let me know everything you're doing, and I'll give you as much advice as I possibly can. Came back to El Paso, enrolled at UTEP, became a volunteer at the UTEP radio station at KTEP El Paso. I had to learn about jazz and classical music and stuff like that. And from there, I got my internship at Town Square Media, which is KLAQ, KISS FM,
Mhm.
and ESPN El Paso. And then from there, I was lucky enough to actually go work at ESPN's corporate headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. I got to meet
Oh,
my guy,
that's
Freddie
cool.
Coleman,
Oh,
and
nice.
work on his show a whole bunch. I was there for a little under a year, actually a year almost to the day.
Mhm.
And whenever I came back to El Paso, I was like, look, I've done everything that I wanted to do, right? Like I've been on radio, I've been doing this and that. It doesn't pay a whole bunch, so I was like, I need to go out and get a real job. And luckily for me, iHeartMedia came calling around, and they offered me a job in 2018. I took the job, and ever since then, I've been doing the tipping point.
Dude, that's cool. Dude, that's awesome, man. Like I know exactly who Freddie Coleman is. I started listening to him when I was on the product on video production with the Chihuahuas because on the way home after the game he was on. So I listened to Freddie Coleman like on my way home after the Chihuahuas games, and yeah, dude, that is so cool that he reached out to you and got back to you and like basically like you said kind of became a mentor to you. How does that make you feel like when when someone like that reaches out and then like basically stays in contact and you get to work with him too?
Yeah, and like we still have a great relationship and
Oh,
we
sweet.
still talk all the time, and he gives me advice and stuff like that. I've actually had him on. So I do a whole bunch of different podcasts. I do the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Like you said, that's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. in the morning, right?
Right.
And then I also do another one with my friends, a couple of producers over at ESPN. It's called Bob, Jim, and Pat Get Drunk on the Internet. My middle name is Robert, so they call me Bob just to annoy me. And we watch like old wrestling stuff. So like I've had Freddie come on that show. Like he's always been so gracious, and it's always, they always tell you like don't meet your heroes and stuff like that, right? Well, like he's not like a hero or anything like that to me, but the fact that he was willing to take time, that he was always
Mm.
so gracious, that he was always even whenever I was working there, like the nicest guy on the ESPN campus. Like everything he's gotten, he's earned, he deserves because he's just that good of a human being.
Yeah, dude, that's cool, man. And then just seeing all the stuff. I mean, you've had, like you said, you have so many. You do a lot of you do a lot of live streams and podcasts. I've watched you and on is it Ice and Fire or Fire and Ice? Like I always get it
Fire and
mixed
ice.
up. Fire and Ice, yeah. And with you and Brandon, it just, dude, you're so busy and you do so much, the content is so great, and you're so knowledgeable, especially on the sports side too. I mean. Yeah, like I think the other day you were streaming, you were breaking down like some of the NFL team seasons on how you think like their win losses were gonna go, and I thought that was like just so cool, like just to be able to like listen while I was on my way to work and stuff like that. That was kind of cool, and I enjoy your stuff, man, and then you being so local and then hearing your story, being able like to basically chase your dream and just in honor of your mom. That is so cool, man.
And I tell people all the time, man, like I grew up in Socorro. Like the kids from Socorro don't get to do the stuff that I've done. So I've taken it as like a blessing for me
Yeah.
that I am going to kind of be like that beacon of hope for whatever kids are down in Socorro that want to try to do this, whatever kids are in El Paso. Like if my goofy ass, sorry, I don't know if I can cuss on this, but
Yeah,
like
you're
if my
good. You're
goofy
good.
ass can make it to ESPN, you can make it to ESPN and you can do better than what I did. And you can have like I can be the person to help you get there and then watch you just take off like a rocket ship. Like I genuinely want to be that person.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, like one of passion of mine. Like, I mean, I think I've been working in video since my Channel 4 days, and I jumped in right when they were still doing tape to tape editing.
Oh man.
So, and we had the big beta cam, so like I kind of like have a a vast knowledge of that media, and I think one of my goals, I'm hoping to pursue a teaching position and teach some of these kids how to shoot like the old school way, but nice and clean stuff. Because like I'll be honest, some of the kids now and even some of the people that report, it's like, oh, you went to college. It's like like I'm not knocking anyone in particular, but I mean it goes vast. Even CNN side, it's kind of like, come on, man. They don't teach the old school stuff anymore. And then you dated us, man, by talking about how you would put tape over the little tape to cover thing to record your voice. I don't know if any of the younger kids are gonna know what the heck we're talking about.
Oh God, no, they got no clue, man. Like I say it like this, dude. Like we're at that age where like we had vinyls, we had cassette tapes, we had CD players, we got MP3s. Like we've seen it all. Like everything that we grew up with has changed so much. Like we had to be adaptable.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough to grow up like that kind of like the not the tail end, but like I grew up in the analog area too, where there's no internet and no social media. But then I think I was also young enough too to be able not to be like too of an old much of an old guy, I guess. Like I think my daughter thinks I'm kind of cool, but other than that, I mean, I try to keep up with the times, and just try not to be that old guy that shoots the one way. I always try to adapt and, like you said, go with the times and be better.
You're talking about your daughter thinking you're cool. Like, I wonder if like how my kids think of it too. Like, whether it'll be like, yeah, my dad used to work at ESPN. They used to do this, but I don't know. Like, they were so young. I don't know if any of that stuff matters to them. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like, my oldest is about to be 13, so maybe it's going to start being like, oh, my dad did some pretty cool stuff because like I've gone to the NFL draft. I've gone to Mexico City
oh, that's cool.
for like the 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals in
Oh,
2022,
nice.
like the MLB All-Star game, like a bunch of things like that. Like every Sun Bowl, I get to go down and I'm on the field, taking pictures and reporting and doing all that stuff, right?
That's
I
cool.
think as he gets older, he'll realize, oh, my dad, it's not like a conventional job, but that's a pretty cool job.
Yeah, we always talk like especially like doing media and I'm sure you've experienced it too, where you'll go to a press conference and they'll feed you and you're like, oh, you get to hang out and just like eat stuff and press record on the camera. People think it's a lot more than that, but that's what people think, man. We just push a button and record either the video or the audio, and that's all we do. It's like, no, you gotta take it back. You gotta edit it. You gotta, especially on the audio side, could be even worse because you gotta filter out background noises, make sure the audio is clear, make sure you're not interviewing near an air conditioner or something. It's a lot of work, but it is. I'll be honest, it was a lot of fun.
It's so much work that I would rather do the stuff live because once it's live, like you can't go back and fix it, right? Like it's out there. So you might as well go do it. There's so much more pressure doing it live, but
Yeah.
so much less work doing it live. Like I do still love like pre-recording podcasts, like doing all that type of stuff. I'm gonna this week because it's a slow time in sports, I'm gonna be introducing some new segments on my show as
Yeah.
well. But like I love, like you said, like it's a ton of work. I
Mhm.
love that work, man. Like going through, making sure you get the sounds like the pop filters. A lot of people don't realize it. Like I speak this far away from the mic and this way, so that way my P's aren't popping, right?
Yeah.
That's just a thing that you're supposed to do. And then especially like whenever you got bigger lips, like the first thing they taught me was put a pencil right here, so that way you know how to do a P without popping your P's.
Mhm.
Like that was just like it's crazy things, the things that you have to learn, the things you have to look out for. So that's why I love doing just live stuff because it takes a lot of the work out of it, but there's a lot more pressure doing it live.
That's true, yeah. Like at least with the like what like when I do these when we record them, uh, as long as there's no like internet messes up or anything, I can just like take the video, shorten it, add the intros in and outs, and then it's done. But and yes, I agree. Like the live stuff when you do it live, it's just like you're one and done, but you do have to put a lot more work into it and be a lot more cautious about your environment and what you're talking about.
Well, and that's the main thing, right? Like all the work you got to put in like beforehand. Like people look at me
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Oh, you do a sports show." No one comes after you harder than sports fans, right?
Yep.
Like if you mess up, like it could be, "Oh, this quarterback threw for 3,184 yards." Someone's going to write back to you and be like, "Well, actually, they threw for 3,185 yards."
Yep.
So, you're the
Yeah.
dumbest person that's ever done sports. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed 1 yard. You're
No.
right. Oh no.
Yeah,
Like
no, for
that's
sure.
how
Yeah, you're
sports
right.
works.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Like I agree. You guys probably have one of the hardest jobs with reporting on sports, especially when you guys do stats, because I'm sure that happens, and that's crazy. Yeah, like I think sports, even though like especially like local TV, I mean they only have a small little section, but they got to get it right. You guys got to get that right because I mean someone like you said, someone's gonna call you out.
Oh yeah, no. And sports fans are always real quick to call someone out. It's because I always look at it as like a badge of honor, right? Like I am so lucky to be able to do the stuff I do.
Mhm.
I think the only difference between me and like a lot of other people is that I sound this way, right? Like I just have a voice.
You
That's
got
the
the
only thing
voice.
everyone else probably has so much more talent than I do. I just have a
No.
voice that makes it seem like I know what I'm talking about. It's authoritative enough where you're like, you know what? Maybe he was right. Maybe he didn't throw for that extra yard. I can put in a little bit of doubt. That's the only redeeming thing I have.
That your voice is awesome, man. And like you do have you have a voice for radio, and then you got the look too, man. You don't have a face for radio. You could be on the on TV too, man. Sportscaster. So
There was a part of me that wanted to do TV. Like I tell people all the time, whenever I first started doing anything sports related, I used to write like my own little blog
Mhm.
back in like 2007, right? Like on MSN. And I would get, a couple thousand hits every now and then on each article. I think the most I got was a thing I wrote about Shoeless Joe Jackson. I wound up getting like, I think it was like 115,000 hits to like that one little blog.
Nice.
I always wanted to be a writer for a newspaper. And then I was like, you know what? Newspaper ain't gonna probably exist all that much in the future. So let me go to radio because radio is gonna be safe. I think I should have just went TV. I could have gone the TV route and it would have saved me a whole bunch of time and headache and heartache.
I think you could still get into it, man. It wouldn't be hard to get into,
Oh, dude,
especially
I'm 117 years old, man. Like, to
No
be
way,
reading
dude.
that.
You look
So,
good. You look good. No, I mean, you do so much. Talk about. I know you mentioned a couple of your other podcasts and your other shows. Talk a little bit about some of those so people know how to find you and know when you're on.
yeah, so if you want to check me out on social media, all the social media is at Mr. Tipton 33, MrTipton 33 on all social media platforms. I do the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. here locally in El Paso. That's on all the social media channels that are out there, as well as Roku with National Stream of Sports. It's a national conglomerate of sports people that actually invited me to be a part of it, which they made a huge mistake doing that. I don't know why they came after me doing that stuff. But every Saturday we do Fire and Ice. It's Brandon the Iceman Cohn and myself. We actually used to work together. We did a Saturday show at 600 ESPN back in the day called Crunch Time.
Yeah,
And
I
we
remember.
agree on absolutely nothing. That's why it's fire and ice. We just go at each other 99% of the time. The only thing we agree on is that we're both big fat guys and we love food. That's the only thing that we ever agree on. And then Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet. We watch wrestling and stuff. We're going to be doing a show tonight, as a matter of fact, Saturday night for Night of Champions. We try to go around like the wrestling pay-per-views, PLEs is what they call them now. We just kind of hang out. We talk about wrestling. We do more wrestling stuff. You can see all the wrestling nonsense that's all here behind me. I'm like a big kid. And then one of the podcasts that I'm producing, because I do produce podcasts for people as well, is called Talking About It with Ashley, where we're tackling mental health issues
Nice.
in,
Yeah, I've seen those.
like in all kinds of stuff. And Ashley's doing a great job. She's 30 episodes deep now.
That's
And
cool.
just watching her be able to grow and helping like be a part of her being able to live out this dream of I just want to talk about mental health, that's been really cool and fulfilling for me as well.
Dude, that's cool. I've seen a few of the shows and watched a few of the lives with you and her, and then also is it Grizzly from 93.1, right?
Yeah, Grizz,
Yeah,
yes.
Grizz. Sorry, Grizz. Yeah, I saw the last couple ones and you guys talked, and dude, those episodes are great, dude. I mean, I'll make sure I link that too when you guys are that way that people can check that out as well.
No, that would be awesome, man, if you could do that because that's a subject that I think we don't talk enough about. Like, I don't think it's like a male or female type thing. I think
Mhm.
it's no one wants to talk about their mental health.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where like whenever you are talking about it, that it feels overwhelming and you feel like it's your like the only personality trait you have. It's okay to not be okay. And
Yeah.
it's okay to kind of talk about that as well.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that it's an important thing. I know a lot of people talk about like how men don't talk about their feelings, but it's not just men. It's everybody. I think everyone just either don't want to talk about it or they're embarrassed about it. But I think you're right. Like having a show like that, just talking about mental health, it's just so important because people can relate and probably if they can relate and maybe even feel better about themselves knowing that they're not the only ones.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing, right? Like just creating a community of acceptance, right? Like I think everyone's got something going on, whether it's a level of depression or whether it's a level of anxiety or just anything like that, right? And we always feel like it's not okay to talk to people about that. It is okay. Get that stuff off your chest. Don't let that stuff just ferment in your body like for the
Agreed.
remainder of your life. Like that's the most unhealthy thing you can probably do. So just go out there, find a group of people that you can talk to about it if you need to. If it's really bad, go get therapy, go do those types of things. And like this is coming from someone that's an Air Force veteran that took so long, right? Like I've been out of the Air Force now for 13 years. And it took me basically 12 and a half years to realize, you know what? Maybe I do need to go out there and get some help. And I regret the fact that I didn't do it earlier.
No, and I think coming from someone like you guys that like you have that feeling, you know how it feels, and it's probably you're probably one of the people that can give the best advice of like, hey, you need to come out and talk about this because I experienced that, and I think it's the best thing to come out and talk about it, and I think that's something great that you're passing along as well.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's one of the main things that I've always wanted to do. Like, I never wanted to be looked at as just the sports guy. I like there's so much more, right? And like whenever you'll see sometimes whenever I do my show, like I have a background in psychology. I actually had close to 100 hours of psychology training through UTEP, through a couple of places like that before I decided, let me change everything around and become a radio personality. Huge mistake right there, right? But like I look at it from a very psychological, analytical type of way whenever I look at sports and I look at everything else. So like you'll see every now and then, like I'll be like, well, this one person did this. But these could be the root causes as to why they did these things.
Yeah. No, that's good advice, and I'll make sure I link it below so people can check you guys out, and you know, it's kind of cool just to get involved and even like you said, just talk about it, get it off your chest, and that'll make you feel a whole lot better.
Yes, 100%.
Sweet. Hey, no, Mike, I'll ask you one last question real quick, and I'll let you go because I know you got to get ready for the show and everything like that, get everything together. If you, excuse me, is there one like sports memory that sticks out in your mind that you'd like to share that's like you kind of like, oh, that really happened, or if you have something that you'd want to share that's always that's probably one of your favorite sports moments that you got to experience.
So for me, like I'm still at heart. Like I always look at myself as like a little kid, right?
Mhm.
Like I realize how blessed I am to do this. So anytime I get to like, even if it's a Sun Bowl, right? And it's the Sun Bowl. It's not like it's a huge thing, but I never went to any of those games whenever I was a kid, man. Like we couldn't afford going to UTEP games. We couldn't even afford going to, Diablo's games or anything like that. So for me, it's like anytime I get to step down on the field, whether it's UTEP or whether it's, Mexico City or any of these other places like that, I always take a second to kind of like reflect and be like, this is actually real. Like the amount of times I would drive through the front gate at ESPN and be like, I can't believe that I am at ESPN, right? Like I am in Bristol, Connecticut,
That's
getting to
cool.
do this stuff. But for me, that favorite moment for me is going to be Mexico City once again. It's raining, it's pouring down, it's a Monday night football game and they're getting ready to do the national anthem for both teams. They do the American national anthem, and then whenever the Mexican national anthem hits, you have over 100,000 people in Estadio Azteca singing in unison to the top of their lungs, dude. It was just such a beautiful moment hearing the Mexican national anthem because it's a beautiful song. Like, even if you don't know what's being said, it's a beautiful song. But to hear 100,000 people
Wow.
just singing it along, man, in the rain with all that type of stuff, I still get goosebumps thinking about that thing. It was such a cool sports moment for me at least because again, 100,000 people plus,
Dude,
all
that's
singing one song. It was awesome.
Dude, that's cool. It's giving me chills, man. I remember watching that game too, but that doesn't match on, being there live and especially on the sideline, dude. That's so cool that
And
you got
like
to go.
I've got video of it too. I was like, this is
Awesome.
like I'm not gonna miss this opportunity. I was taking video of it. They had me up in like where they put press people as far up as you could possibly get. So
Mhm.
I got like a huge stadium, like the whole view of the stadium, like
Awesome.
just singing that song, man. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
Dude, that's so cool, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing everything and especially everything that you've done and especially, honoring your mom and thank you for your service for being in the Air Force and serving in the military for us and dude, you ever need anything, you let me know, man. Even if you want to just chat. Like I said, express yourself, get things off your chest. That's so important and I'll be listening, man. I'll be listening to this, especially football is gonna get started here in a month or a couple months. Um, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good season too.
I think it's going to be a tremendous season. I think it's going to be fun. I learned a long time ago that as soon as basketball and hockey end, no one wants me to talk about soccer. No one wants me to talk about baseball. I just got to find stories in the NFL and college football. And thankfully, they keep just doing stuff that allows me to have stories to talk about. So
Yeah,
thank you, NFL, and thank you, college, for giving me all the stories I need to talk about over the summertime.
yeah.
And thank
Especially
you, and again, Ray, thank you for your support too, man. It really does mean a lot.
no, I appreciate it, man. We got to have each other's backs, man. And I like I said, I appreciate you coming on my little show and just talking about you and all the stuff that you do, especially the stuff you do like for the producing the other shows and things like that, man. It's cool and I was just really excited to have you on today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I was excited to be on as well. Believe it or not, even though I've been doing this for a decade, I still get nervous anytime I'm on the other end. Anytime I'm on the other, people asking me questions, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to answer this question wrong.
No, no, you did well. Just so you know, you did very well today. Thank you.
There we go. Yes.
And then just if any of your sports fans are watching, and I always want to point it out because I always get heckled for it or called bandwagoner. I don't know if you see this little helmet right here.
I've been trying to ignore it.
I've been a Chiefs fan since '94, so just so everyone knows.
Joe
I did
Montana.
I did migrate from the 49ers because I was a huge Joe Montana fan. So I followed him over when they kind of kind of screwed him over. But I think he would have got at least two more Super Bowls if he was with the 49ers. But yeah, it is what it is.
You got to witness the Elvis Gerback days and all that. So you've seen some real pain. I will not talk any crap to you about that.
And I met some people when working with the school district. They're from St. Joseph's, Missouri, and they were lifelong. And they were from the first one in I think it was 2020 or 2019. They
What do you
they
mean?
they were waiting 50 years, and they even had like napkins that they never opened because they were like, we're gonna keep these napkins closed until they get the Super Bowl. And they were old napkins. They even gave me a few. It's kind of cool, but it's been a crazy ride. So I can't complain. And just for anyone wondering, yes, the Eagles beat the crap out of us in the Super Bowl. So
Gross. We don't talk about that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl never happened. The Eagles are a horrible franchise. Their fan base is even worse. I'm a Cowboys fan, so that's the reason why I get to talk all that nonsense.
yeah,
But I will say this, like one of the cooler NFL drafts that I went to was in Kansas City. It
oh,
was such a
sweet.
beautiful moment there. Again, like this is like nothing's happening, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like I always show up early to these things because, like I said, I like to take in a moment, and I also like to kind of see what the things look like, the setup before everyone gets there. So I'm walking around, and it's in this huge park in downtown Kansas City, and I go up over this hill and I start hearing some music, and I'm like, oh, dude, that sounds like Motley Crue. And then it hits me. Motley Crue's supposed to perform that night at the NFL
Oh,
draft. So like I run over and it's me and like 75 people. And we're just there as Motley Crue's doing their sound check, but
oh,
they're hitting
nice.
everything as hard as possible. That was one of the cooler moments for me, man. I
Oh,
loved
nice.
that one.
Oh, that's cool, man. Thanks for sharing. That's cool. Yeah, now I can't wait to get to a game, man. I'm gonna, even if I try to get to the Arizona for the preseason game, I'm gonna try to get to that one. I got to see if I can get any peeps that I know, just to at least maybe get some photos or some video on the sideline. But we'll see what happens. If not, I'll hit up the fans and be in the stands. So, to Mike, I appreciate you jumping on with me, man. I'll make sure I'll put all your contact information in the description below, Instagram, so everyone can follow you on YouTube, stuff like that. So everyone can hit you up, watch you during your stuff. And anything else you'd like to say or add before we end today, man?
No, man, just once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If there's one thing that we can do here in El Paso is support local, support as many of these podcasts, as many of these shows as we can, local restaurants, all that stuff. I'm
Yeah,
all about supporting local. Even
same.
whenever I was up at ESPN, like my goal was never to make it to ESPN. It was to just do radio and sports here in El Paso to give El Paso another like sports guy that they can like come listen to. So just go out there, support local as much as possible.
Yes, I agree. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and I'll be watching, man. You ever need anything, you let me know. Please keep me in your mind if you need something, or um, I'm here, man. I'm here to support any way I can.
Awesome, Ray. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good show later today.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.